I got that right turn. We're good.
Let's meet up at the compound group up.
At 10-4. Yeah, for sure, dog. Good, little driver, straight on through.
Come by the booth to get y'all's free prize. Here, spin the wheel, guys. You spin the wheel, you might win something. We got some really cool gifts on here. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube videos. Come by and see the booth. We're going to have the blimp flying later today. If this wind will calm down, we're going to have the blimp up 30 feet in the air, guys. It'll be a cool sight to see. We got some great deals inside. If you need a quote on your installation of your aircraft, any kind of new stuff, new products, we got a lot of stock in-house. More than anybody else that I've seen here, so come by and see what we got here, guys. Good morning, 2022. Come by and see us. We'll be here all week.
When it's time to recover and paint your fabric-covered aircraft, look no further than AirTech Coatings. Since 1982, our FAA-approved system provides you with a shiny, durable, easy-to-apply product. The AirTech system has fewer steps than any other product on the market today, saving you both time and money. While using cutting-edge technology, we offer a wide range of products. Whether it's for work, play, antique, or aerobatic, we have you covered. Remember, we make paint fly.
There are thousands of airstrips that are dirt, grass, and mud across the United States, Canada, and the world. Many of these are inaccessible to normal aircraft. There's a certain breed of pilot who wants to be able to land anywhere, either for sport or by pure necessity. They're bush pilots. We practice these skills so we can be safe off airport, so we can get into and out of the tight spots, the backcountry, and the unimproved fields. You'll now watch some of the best pilots in the world show you what they can do with as little as 50 feet. Not only can they take off and land off airport, they can take off and land anywhere. This is the Husky National STOL Series. The Husky National STOL Series is presented by Husky and Avion Aircraft, America's favorite tail dragger. McFarlane Aviation Products, thousands of parts, save thousands of dollars. American Legend Aircraft, not your grandfather's Cub. Duke Propellers, offering a wide variety of carbon-made propellers and rotors. Sarasota Avionics, the #1 aircraft avionics installer in the nation. Rugged Radios, the official communications provider of National STOL. Ladd Gardner Aviation Insurance, aviation protected. AirTech Coatings, we make paint fly. Sporty's Pilot Shop, learn to fly here. The Fat Tire Cowboys, an aviation adventure brand steeped in cowboy lore. And now, live from the south side of Fun Aerospace Expo's campus at this famous Paradise City Field in Lakeland, Florida, this is the 2022 Husky National STOL Demos.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2022 Sun & Fun National STOL, Husky National STOL. I always got to put that word in there, Husky National STOL.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back. It is Friday night. The crowd is larger than ever, and I'm excited. I got my friend Ryan here.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting STOL demo. Had some kind of crummy weather yesterday, so we're all excited to get STOL freaked out, to see some short landing, some short takeoff in just a few minutes. Really excited, but first we got a very important guest here in the booth.
He's more important every day.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but thank you.
Guys, this is my friend Gene Conrad. Gene has been the venerable airport manager here at Lakeland, airport director for 11 years?
12 years, actually.
12 years.
12 years. Got here in January 2010.
And then they fired you, and you decided you want to do something a lot easier.
Well, I actually resigned to come over here and be the new president and CEO of ACE and Fun Aerospace Expo.
So when I heard this news, I was overjoyed because you've been one of my favorite people in this industry for a really long time because your experience is absolutely next level. I mean, you have taken Lakeland from being a paltry small airport that is, I can't say it was paltry or small compared to Lake Wales or Winter Haven, but it was an airport that was really underdeveloped, and you've really grown that and grown the vision of what Lakeland could do with this airport.
No, and I appreciate that, but I will say no good deed goes unpunished because I know there's a lot of worries out there reference Amazon and the future development of the airport, but I will say it till my dying breath. It is about aviation at the end of the day. The airport has to grow, right? And they're here the 51 other weeks of the year, and we're all here for 6 days enjoying our time here, but at the end of the day, we did great things at the airport, but I came over here to Sun & Fun and the Aerospace Expo because I was born in Oshkosh. My dad ran the airport there when I was a kid. I grew up around Paul Poberezny, Steve Whitman, Tom Poberezny, all of those folks. Been volunteering up at AirVenture for 34 years.
Just a short period of time.
Short period of time around handle all the airshow performers there, but the reason I came here to Lakeland to run the airport back in January 2010 is because Sun & Fun is here. Right, and so we had to do some stuff at the airport, and people ask, well, why would you come over to Sun & Fun? Why wouldn't I? Understanding my background, it makes sense.
It's who you are, and when you and I first started spending time together, it was on an advisory board for the director of the board, right? Yes. And when I saw in those meetings, it was your passion, not just for ACE, but for Sun & Fun's attendees and for growing the overall vision of Sun & Fun. So we only have a few minutes here, but do you want to share kind of a highlight reel of what you see Sun & Fun becoming over the next few years?
Well, I mean, it ain't broke, so, right? I mean, this is a phenomenal event, and, but it's going to be about tweaking it and massaging things, in a certain manner, and, there are things going to happen for the airport, and it's going to develop over time, and we really need to get ready and do a master site plan for the event. I know there's a lot of people, like, next year, I've heard rumors of the exhibit buildings will be gone, or this is going to be gone. They will all be there. The airport, when and if it happens, the parallel runway is about 8 to 10 years out, right? But the site is going to shift.
Right.
And we're going to spend the next couple of years to plan for our event and what we do here on a year-round basis and be ready to go if and when that happens, right? Well, and it's no different than what AirVenture has done over the last several decades as they have, moved and built new warehouses or, the exhibit buildings that they have and all of that. And, that all took decades, and it's going to take us a long time to do that here as well. But our goal is by the 50th anniversary, the 50th fly-in here in 2024 is to have that plan ready to show people and for people to comment on it, because we're not perfect and we have to figure it out. But, we want to make sure this is right and we set it up the right way for the next 50 years.
Well, one of the things I enjoy the most about you as airport director here is that you are an unbelievable yes man. Normally when you go to an airport director and you say, hey, I'd like to do this, blah, 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 they say, well, no. And it's their natural reaction is to say no. And something you taught me and that I've tried to encourage other airport directors and airport advisory boards and whatnot to say why not? And you've always said why not to every idea I've ever brought you, including the craziest ones.
And you've brought us some crazy stuff, by the way.
I believe that.
Drift cars, drift motorcycles, airplanes, skydiving, and a few other things all in one. And it was not even a hesitation. He said, yes, we'll find a way to make it work because it promotes aviation. And I think that being your heart is so clear, and I'm so excited to see how the future of Sun and Fun. Obviously, Lights has done an incredible job growing this event.
Yep.
But taking your vision and your way of building a business around it, I think it's going to be really, really cool.
And when we look at what we're doing here this week, this is the annual fundraiser for what is now ACE, the Aerospace Center for Excellence, and what we do on a year-round basis to get youth involved in aviation education and get them involved in our industry. Because we have a pilot shortage. We need pilots, we need mechanics, we need air traffic controllers, and we're doing our part, but also we're gonna raise the level of our efforts and what we're doing and really push the envelope, and we're gonna bring in some really great folks, which I look forward to announcing in June of this year to run ACE for us, and it's going to be great. But back to the airport real quick. When I got here back in 2010, we had 800 people working on the airport. There's now over 3,000 working here, right?
And growing.
And the economic impact then was 167 million. It's now over 1 billion. But here's the thing: is airports like ours, had we not done what we had done, there are communities looking to close airports.
Yeah.
If we were being subsidized by the city government, people are like, well, I don't fly in and out of there. I don't have my airplane there. It's only for rich people, right?
Right.
And so we had to change that dynamic here, and having NOAA here, and yes, Amazon, it does create a little pain for us, but we're very helpful in the fact that the airport had the revenue during 2020 when we couldn't unfortunately have this great event. The airport was able to waive all of the fees and all the ground lease that the airport charges Sun and Fun, and waive all of that because the revenues were there.
Right, and that's the beautiful thing is it becomes a relationship between each other, not just a leech. And I think that's what's so powerful about the way you've run the airport now, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that kind of shifts into Sun and Fun.
And on Wednesday, I will say the pilot in command on one of those 737-800s that took off for Amazon was a graduate from the CFAA in 2013.
Nice.
That's
amazing.
What it's all about.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
It's paying it forward to the next generation of aviators.
Absolutely.
And I think that we've seen that over and over again, even with competitors here tonight. We have Nick, who's just come out of
and
high
he's
school.
running for state office. Everybody, just
How
putting
cool
it
is
out
that?
there.
I feel like his entire platform will be something about how tail wheels are better.
Yeah.
The United tailwheel party of the United States.
I would vote for that party.
Absolutely.
Well, other than that, is there anything you can share that's upcoming, or the ways that people can help to see the vision of Sun and Fun continue to push people forward, push young people forward, and make aviation a better place?
I think it's really just doing what everybody's doing and promote it as much as possible. And and there's things here with our event and what we do, and I'm just going to throw this out there. Gene Conrad at flysunandfun.org, and send me an email. I want to hear it, the good, the bad, the ugly. We want to make this event as great as we can. And, but again, for what we do here, all those monies we're raising are going right back into all of our educational programs, and we're creating pilots and mechanics and doing what we need to be doing, but we also need to raise our level nationwide big time.
I can
and
only
we need
imagine,
help doing that.
If you could imagine 10 times the amount of impact you have today, 10 years from now, the number of students that be coming out of that CFAA and through the Aero Club would just be absolutely incredible.
And when you look at what we have and the mass of what we have as far as our educational facilities here with ACE, we need to duplicate what's here on 5 airports in every state of this great country, and maybe we'll start making a dent, but that's what it's going to take, and we've got to get the partners on board, and there's money out there.
Oh yeah.
We got to sell it and get them on board and move forward.
Well, I think anyone that's standing here in this crowd right now and gets the opportunity to watch these young men and women that have gone through these programs out here competing or demonstrating.
Absolutely.
And speaking of which, what do you think is STOL?
I think STOL is awesome. I mean, obviously, we were sitting here, back in December,
right?
Having a similar type of conversation about that. And how cool is it, if you think about it, a busy airport, busy GA airport, to have a grass strip here, and, year-round, the kids are using it here, but then we get to have these cool events as well. I mean, That's cool. It's like our own little world down here.
It really is, and it is an exciting world, as you can see tonight. With the crowds are stacking up, people are getting excited for some STOL activity. I'm curious, would you like me just to step out and you can kind of finish the commentating for the night?
If that's what you want, I can do that. Hey, what's it pay? I need a donation.
Let's put it this way: it doesn't pay well. But we're excited to be here. Gene, thanks so much for coming out and for taking the time. I know you're crazy busy with this being soon to be your last Sun and Fun as a strict volunteer.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. And, I just want to say thank you for everybody being here. You being here in attendance today and throughout the week is very, very important what we do on a year-round basis. I just want to thank everybody making the efforts to get here to Lakeland, Florida.
That's our pleasure, Gene. Have a great night. Enjoy
Awesome.
the retirement parties and tell the lights we said good job.
I will do that. Thank you.
Right,
thank you very much. Great to see you.
Everybody. Have fun. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the way. I will get a report here from our tower shortly about how quickly we are going to be getting started. But that was Gene Conrad with us. Gene being the airport director here at Sun and Fun at Lakeland Linder Airport, and soon to be, I guess Monday, the new president of Sun and Fun.
Pretty incredible story there, and I think what was interesting to me is, having talked to him a year ago, was that what you guys just talked about a little bit about the idea of having an airport maybe that would be at odds with the local events, right? And what we're seeing and what we've seen with him a year ago, we see again now, is this partnership, this true partnership that's bringing everyone together to help grow aviation. And that's just really exciting to see as a product of that, as you and I are both products of that.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm a big product of Sun and Fun itself. I mean, this is my 28th Sun and Fun, so I've been here a long time, and watching how the event has changed throughout the years, and then seeing someone like Gene come out and say, hey, I want to give up my cushy job that I have I'm sure he has a pension ready. He's only been there 12 years. He's giving that up, at least to some degree, because he has so much passion for what is happening here on these grounds. I cannot wait to see the changes. I cannot wait to see how he listens to the crowd. I mean, he's giving out his personal email address to the whole world right here.
And I believe he means it.
Oh, I 100%.
I think you should email him. If you have thoughts or ideas, I think you should do it.
Just a few weeks ago, I'm on a flight to Ohio, and I get a text from Gene. He goes, I'm on your plane. I said, you're on my plane? He said, yeah, I'm on your plane. And I said, how do you see me? You must be in first class. He said, oh, no, I'm a city worker. So we linked up in Charlotte, and it's neat to see that aviation keeps bringing cool people together. At least he's the cool one. So
he's super cool. I love that you're saying, I'm on your plane. Like, is that a threat? Is that a threat? Let's see on social here. Josh Sinclair says, where do I register to join the Tailwheel Party?
I think you should just go to your nearest voter registration location and just try.
Just write it in.
Right.
Write it in, Josh. Yeah. Just write it in. These are, for folks in the crowd here at Sun and Fun, these are folks interacting with us through social media. You can check that out if you want to watch at home or in the crowd. You can check out the stream we've got going on YouTube and Facebook, things like that.
And keep in mind, you can find out all of our information for socials, for everything else, and keep up with live scoring at nationalstol.com. So if you want to keep up with the scores live and not wait for us to read them, which we might read them wrong, it's happened before, nationalstol.com.
That live scoring thing, I think we tried for the first time at Outlaw STOL just a few weeks back. Such a cool way to interact with technology. And as I see on the screen here, Eric, whoa.
There's a lot of people here.
A lot of crowds filling up. If you're in the crowd right now getting ready for National STOL Demo, we don't want to hear it. Give it a hoot and a holler. Something for us.
Like you mean it. Like you mean it. Come on now. Come on now. All right, we got some people here. All right, this is excellent, guys. I'm excited. I know a lot of you guys are excited to see our friend Steve Henry back up on his gear with a brand new propeller, working through the night with the help of Simpsonic propellers and with the help of Lincoln welders, as well as all the fine folks in the workshops here at Sun and Fun. He got that airplane up and ready to roll the very next day. I'm going to go ahead and get things going with the weather now. It is currently wind 290 at 12, gusting to 21 knots. Now that second number there is going to be super important, guys. The difference between a 100-foot takeoff and a 70-foot takeoff, a 25-foot takeoff and an 8-foot takeoff is going to be if you're taking off in the steady or the gust. I know that a lot of these pilots are going to be dying for that 21-knot gust, and I think that they're going to have an opportunity for it tonight.
Well, and the big thing you'll see, if you are a careful audience member, a careful viewer, you'll see them taxi to the line and try to wait for the right wind to blow through all these flags, of these wonderful flags that they're all very happy to. Obviously, they show the people that support that Husky National STOL Series, but also a great tool for all the pilots to use to try to time that takeoff. A little bit less they can do on the landing.
Well, there's something else you'll see that you'll be surprised by. Some of these airplanes have different tools mounted to them. If you look at a couple of these airplanes, look for a stray string, because they'll be waiting for that string to get pegged out, and they're thinking ahead because they know that if they see that string start to swing, they need to get into the power and start that process forward. But why don't you walk us through our first few competitors?
Yeah, we've got a really exciting lineup today. Really great thing that's happening right now is that the weather cleared, the rain from yesterday cleared, and we have finally some real heavy competitors that were able to make it through that tough weather to join us. Let's start at the top. Gary Schmidt, 2017 Just Super STOL. You're going to learn a little bit about him. He's actually the owner of Just Aircraft. Really excited to see.
He is, and he's actually running one of the smaller motors. He's running a 914 in that. We have a 915 Super STOL in the competition, or the demo as well.
Sure.
So it'll be interesting to see the difference between their performances.
Matt Peterson in the 1957 Cessna 172 from Louisiana. Also, the chairman and CEO of Swamp STOL. Great to see him here. I was hanging out with him a little bit today. He said that with the wins today, he might be able to get his personal best.
He did indeed.
Personal best.
And he said he was getting serious about it. He took the passenger seat out.
Oh, he is getting serious about it then. Get the passenger seat out.
All right, we got about 2 minutes before we get things kicked off, and I have to say I'm so excited because that beautiful Super Patriot is being flown by another awesome human being tonight.
Absolutely. Kind of a surprise addition today. Jaden Newman is back. If you were here last year, you saw her tearing it up in that yellow Carbon Cub. Now switched over to the Patriot aircraft. It's brand new 2021. You've been talking about it all week. I like that it's invisible.
If we had snow, it'd be invisible. But this is a brand new aircraft just announced this week here at Sun 'n Fun's, the Super Patriot. And Jaden's a 19-year-old female pilot who is absolutely slaying her experiences here. And all of the demos that I've seen her do, she has placed very well.
Oh, giving even the best the run for their money. After her will be Nick Poucher. We talked about him a little bit with Gene. Also in a Patriot, a different model Patriot. Warren Grobelar is here.
Crowd favorite
in the 180, the polished 180. And then Luke Spohr in the Moac, the Legend
Moac.
Cub Moac.
The mother of all cubs.
I just like it because it sounds evil.
It does.
Here's that other Super STOL you were talking about, Eric. Christian Griwan in another Just Aircraft Super STOL.
He is indeed. And, of course, crowd favorites, John Humbert in his Super 701 with that UL Power 130, followed by his competitor Steve Henry.
Steve Henry, kind of the big comeback story this week. Obviously, it's just a demo, but you were here. I watched from afar at home and saw that he had a little bit of a challenging night on Tuesday. Put a lot of effort in over the last 2 days, and guess who's back?
Guess who's back? That's the beauty of all things experimental aviation. We absolutely love it. We've got three more to talk about, and these are kind of exciting because they're different.
Absolutely, yeah. You got the Aeropract Vixen, Dennis Long, a last-minute addition to the demo tonight. I just think the Aeropract's a cool-looking thing. We'll learn more about that.
It is. My understanding, it's Ukrainian-built. It's an all-metal light sport. And then following him, we have Larry Mednick, who's a good friend of mine, flying the 2018 Evo Revolt. So this is a Evolution weight shift trike. It's going to be really cool to see his performance. And that's it for the night, I believe. We have Roger O'Neill on the screen, but he's not going to be able to make it tonight. So we have the pilots released, and our very first pilot, Gary Schmidt, is on the line enjoying that heavy breeze. You can see his beard's in there moving around. He's getting ready to smash the power and see how things go.
What I love about this is on the sheet here for us, this Gary G-Dog Schmidt.
G-Dog. Gotta love Gary. And Gary is excited and ready. You know that the man has got a lot of experience both with backcountry flying, even just flying into their factory in Walhalla, South Carolina is like a roller coaster ride into one of the shortest strips you can slide into. And those Super STOLs were specifically designed to do just that. I remember the first year they released those here, people's jaws dropped. Their climb performance was unlike anything we'd seen before here at Paradise City. And I think that people are still picking their jaws up because it hasn't changed. They continue to produce very dependable, high performance excitement.
Yeah, you're going to see some huge verticals there. I'm wondering, as we get ready to do this with Gary Schmidt, if we should walk through the rules of National STOL. So National STOL, obviously a demo right now here at Sun and Fun 22, but we've been traveling, I've been traveling all over the country with this series, this national series sponsored by Husky Aircraft and a number of other amazing supporters.
And there's a new one almost every month. So if anywhere you are in the U.S., there's probably a National STOL series either already planned or being planned now so that you can take a quick flight in your own airplane and come and join us. All right, so let's go through the rules.
We'll let Gary take off here, and then I'll hit you up with the rules. Here we go. Full throttle for Gary. Tail off the ground.
Getting those flaps in. And you can see he rotated so late. He carried so much energy into that initial climb. He could have probably been off the ground 50 feet earlier.
Right, just working those slats to keep the airflow over the wing. Here's Colonel Matt Peterson on the line. Okay, so here's a real quick breakdown of how this works, everybody. You'll see the aircraft taxi to the line. They've got their main wheels on the line. Here's Matt giving it the beans.
That 0300 struggling hard. 1957 straight tail 172. You'll notice hit it rotate and off the ground. Matt is an expert at discussing the ideas of how much energy you should have left in the airplane as you roll off the ground. He wants to be pulling the airplane off the ground and having to nose over immediately but keep the mains off. So he'll be constantly working because he has a little bit of a disadvantage over these tailwheel pilots on the leverage. The Super Patriot.
Here's Jaden. Whoa! That's a round of applause, everybody. There you go. Jaden is not one to be messed with.
74-foot takeoff for Jaden in the Super Patriot. You've got to love it.
Got on the replay here, and it's just like poetry in motion for Jaden. She's not only a bush pilot, she's also a professional pilot, flying jets all over the place. Here's Nick Poucher. He's trying to get your vote with this takeoff.
Oh, and leaving the ground around 95 feet, it looks like. Very exceptional. That's one of the best performances we've seen from Nick as yet. Oh, and we did get Roger O'Neill in. And fantastic. Roger's actually a local from Lake Wales, Florida. His airplane's based in Bartow, and this is a 912S-powered Kit Fox Model 7 with the STI wing. This is his first time at a National STOL event.
And that's weird because you were talking about a plane. I didn't see it at all. It's totally invisible.
The crowd's going nuts, guys.
Crowd's going nuts for Warwick Grobelar in number 46, the 180 from the heavy touring class.
Warren slamming the tail down, getting it off the ground in light experimental territory there.
Warren is not messing around. He is... I think what's impressive about that is just the weight of that aircraft. Everyone knows the Cessna 180 is like kind of the quintessential bush plane, but the way he can make that thing move is really impressive. Want to talk about the rules real quick?
You got about 10 seconds before Gary comes in.
Here are the main things you need to know. We measure from the main wheels, either the front or the front on a tail dragger, the back in a nose gear. I've failed my mission.
It's all right. We'll get going.
You've got to land after the line, not before it. So that was a good landing, heavy on the brakes, and what we're doing is we're measuring the stopping distance, adding that stopping distance to where the aircraft took off earlier to get the combined score. So you see the judges along the back end running to score that takeoff and then similarly that landing.
Now what's important to note here is they have to make it past the line because they could have the shortest landing of the day, but if they touch down those main landing gear before the line, it doesn't count at all. The whole run is scratched.
Absolutely. You're going to want to land like you're landing on a carrier, like you're in a F-19 stealth fighter.
Oh, there's a scratch.
There's a scratch just as you predetermined that. And boos from the crowd.
Boos from the crowd, indeed.
We
got some serious feedback here. And Matt Peterson was on a mission. He said that he had the longest scratch in National STOL history. He was on a mission not to do that again today, and he's really happy to see the wing coming down the runway for once, which is a rarity here at Paradise City. So I'm disappointed for him. I know he'll be disappointed, but we'll have another opportunity to go back around again. We do have our first score, Gary Schmidt at 273, and Jaden Newman on approach.
Jaden Newman off to your left, folks in the crowd on short final. Really impressive to see her career take off, no pun intended. Really excited to see what she can do. That first takeoff for her, 73 feet. Here she is, low and on your left. Looks like we're going to have a go-around for Nick Poucher.
But keep an eye on Jaden here. She's keeping it under power, just kind of wrapping that power in as she needs to, heavy under brake and pulling back full aft elevator, now trying to keep the tail on the ground or the nose off of it.
Locked off, the wheels locked up. And just an explanation of what happens with Nick there. Spacing got a little tight. Air bosses hop on the frequency and say, Nick, you got to go around, do another loop around the pattern to make sure everything's safe and we're all properly separated.
I think Nick was just in the midst of trying to prove that he had the faster Patriot.
Yeah, well, he was catching up to her for sure.
Warren Grobelaar coming back in. Warren, Roger O'Neill. Apologies, wrong screen on there for me. But Roger O'Neill, young man, 23 years old, I believe. He's a geologist. To cross the line, letting it float. Again, this is his first event. This is the first time he's attempted anything like this. When I spoke to him on Tuesday, he said, well, I don't have any interest. I've never done anything like this.
Sure.
He just built this airplane himself, painted it himself, and he's excited to now showcase not just what he can do, but to work on what he can become. And that's one of the most important things about National STOL. It's an opportunity to really become the best pilot you can be, to start dialing in the consistency. And let's talk a little bit about that consistency, about the most consistent that we're looking for here.
Well, now, so it's interesting. I was going to talk about Matt Peterson with his most improved last season.
Warren's on short approach, and the crowd is going wild. Don't you do it.
Hold it off. Oh, scratch
man.
for Warren. I'd like to note, though, that Warren's fans aren't booing that scratch.
They're not booing the scratch, but
That's
I think
weird.
they'll be booing him in person later. Just have that expectation.
It's not totally fair, guys. You gotta boo him, too, if you're going to boo everybody. All right, Nick Poucher, I believe, off on final approach there. Kind of battling the winds. You were talking about most consistent.
So most consistent is an award that we give at every National STOL event for the pilot that keeps their flights the most consistent lengths. So if you, for instance, we had Austin Clemens in December. Austin's all of his flights, out of all the flights he did, they were 6 feet separating them all. Right? He was so consistent on takeoffs and landings. Nick now coming in under power, getting that high alpha look. He wants to get the tail a little bit lower, slowing it down, and just pump the power as he needs it.
So he's good. He's good. Now he's got to get it stopped.
I think that Nick really wants some bigger tires.
I think Nick wants some bigger tires. The other thing you'll notice is his aircraft doesn't have any flaps.
He does not. It's a PA-18.
So he's got to do some slips for energy management and descent management as opposed to flaps like the other aircraft. You'll notice that I think you'll notice he typically will do a lower approach.
He does.
Because he can't control that descent rate with flaps the way the other competitors can.
Exactly. He's trying to keep the airplane flying right to the ragged edge and then shop the power once he's clear of the line.
As the aircraft taxi back past the line, everybody make sure to cheer, hoot, holler, give them a wave. They can hear you past all that engine noise. Be great to see all of them. I want to chat a little bit as they taxi by about some of our sponsors. One is Husky Aircraft, obviously our headline sponsor. Husky is where luxury aircraft and backcountry meet. You'll find Aviat Husky. Meet America's favorite tail dragger at booth, Mike Delta 31 Bravo.
You said that like you're a pilot or something.
Mike Delta 31 Bravo. That's MD31B. Also, on the social there, Frederico says, I would love to see a bush cat there.
Man, we wish we'd have a bush cat here as well. We had one signed up for the event on Tuesday, and it didn't happen, but we do have a great guy in here right now talking to us from way up in Canada, and that's our friend Chinook Valdez Special, Dan, who is an incredible legend of the short takeoff and landing world, current world record holder. And we got to see him fly at Swamp STOL, and I got to say, just an absolute gentleman and a phenomenal pilot.
So I was so heartbroken that I didn't get to make Swamp STOL to see him fly. I'd seen him on the internet, and just
Absolutely.
Amazing things that he can do with that aircraft.
Warren's driving by right now, and you can see the crowd going nuts.
He's not. Is he smiling at least, Warren?
He's grinning. He knows his friends are here. Warren and I flew up to Swamp STOL together, actually. We flew formation up there, and him flying so slow with those giant tires almost knocked me out of the sky because I got so much carb ice I couldn't clear it. But aside from that, we had a great time, and he was telling me on the radio about all his friends at Sun 'n Fun, and he says he only pays them like $10 a piece to show up.
Oh, that makes about, yeah. Well, you guys should ask for a raise. As our friend Gary takes off right now, I want to give you a little rundown of the scores from the last round at this demo. Jaden Newman in first place with a combined score. That's the landing and the takeoff combined, 238 feet. Gary Schmidt, who you just saw take off right now, 273 feet. Nick Poucher in the flapless PA-18.
308.
308.
Pretty exceptional, honestly. That's the best record we've seen from him this week. And, of course, we do have the wind helping him out. I think that we're going to see a very happy Matt with that takeoff.
Yeah, I think we are, too. And Roger O'Neill in the Kit Fox, combined score of 521. I want to put that in perspective, by the way. If you're a pilot or an aspiring pilot, these combined scores, I don't even know if I could. Another great one for Jaden.
Absolutely phenomenal for Jaden. That Super Patriot is really delivering for her exactly the kind of performance she's been after.
I was just going to say, I don't know if the last time I just either took off or landed my 172 under these numbers, let alone these numbers combined.
My RV6 could take all those numbers put together, and that'd be my takeoff.
There you go. Well, maybe we're just not good pilots.
That's also very possible. Nick back on the roll.
Nick
easing it off just like absolutely flawless. What we've seen from Nick tonight is a lot more consistency than we've seen the rest of the week, which I'm very happy to see. And I know that Roger's very excited because this being his first time playing like this is all new for him. He built this airplane, just got it flying recently, and now he's at Sun and Fun flying in Husky National STOL. He's not pushing it. He's not ripping the airplane off the ground. He's allowing it to perform exactly where it should be.
So one of the interesting things you'll see if you come to a National STOL event where we're truly competing as opposed to the demo here at Sun and Fun.
Let's look at this now. Warren diving the airplane toward the ground. Flaps go in, and he slams the tail once again, using that lever arm as well as he can to get the weight of the engine off the ground.
Almost trimming the grass there for Warren. What I was going to say is what you'll see is all these aircraft right now, you might be watching the audience and say, well, this isn't really that fair because Warren is in a very heavy, powerful airplane compared to Nick, who's in a very light, lower horsepower airplane. And when you come to a standard event, you'll see everyone organized into classes based on gross weight and horsepower.
Right.
And that equalizes them and makes it a little more standard.
Plus, it makes it really fun to have these micro battles between different people in the same class. Ooh, Gary, just a slight bit short. Really excellent. Very heavy on the braking, though. That's his shortest landing I've seen yet this week by far.
Add a couple feet to it for the scratch, and it's still pretty respectable performance there.
I feel like if this was a charity skeet shoot, you could buy a couple extra shots to make it through your stages. You probably would have gone ahead and bought a couple extra feet. Matt coming in, he's not going to scratch it this time. He wants the score. He's going to do his very best to keep it up, but he's got those barn door flaps down, working it across the line. He's going to keep it safe.
He got it.
He wants those numbers in the book. Once he has a score.
Oh, he's on the brakes hard. He wants it. I think he said his best score ever was in the 400 range.
462, I believe, is the number he brought up. So I know that he is going to have a much happier time with a better score than that.
The other thing that Matt mentioned to me today, which is really interesting, in that aircraft, he's flown 195 different people, 30 of them young Eagles.
He loves taking people for their first ride. He really does. And it's something that's fun to watch. At Swamp STOL, he was just ripping around in the craziest winds, just giving rides as much as he could.
I think if you're in the crowd right now, you should go find him afterwards and say, hey, Colonel Matt.
Would you please put your passenger seat back in?
Yeah, put your passenger seat back in so I can get a lift.
I got to point this out, too, because I actually got a text. I just got a text that John Humbert wants it known that his airplane still has the passenger seat in it and is set up for flying across country. But Jaden Newman's on low approach now in that Super Patriot.
By the way, Matt's score may be his best.
421. That is his best. Keep it off, Jaden. Keep it off.
Oh,
it's
could
good.
Not be closer to the line than that for Jaden Newman.
Man, that was fantastic performance from Jaden. We've already seen a very good score from her, seeing that much better. 238 the first time. We'll see what that landing was. Her last takeoff, let's see here. Her last takeoff was almost 20 feet longer, 19 feet longer than the previous, but that landing was 23 feet shorter.
I would really be interested to see, and I'm going to pull it up right now, what the weather, what the winds are doing. By the way, look at someone's fighting the wind right now.
That's
right on the edge there, Nick.
Keep it off, Nick.
Oh, he's
Tail
off.
wheel's on the ground.
Okay.
Tail wheel was on the ground for a long time there, but sadly that was a scratch.
People ask this every time we compete, what happens if the tail wheel touches before the line, and it's all good. We are only considering the main gear.
Absolutely. And that said, he's fighting and he's working it hard. Okay, Roger coming in now. He's on the ground earlier, getting this braking in heavily. You can see that elevator all the way up. Get it down, get it down. Under 200 it looks like from here. for a first time coming out and doing something that's new that he didn't even know existed before this, how cool is it to see someone like Roger coming out and doing something new?
I think what's great about National STOL, one of the things that inspires me about National STOL is that it is so accessible. These are all skills that as you train to become a pilot, and I hope everyone in the crowd right now, if you're not a pilot and you want to do it, that you pursue that. Aviation is for everybody. These are all the skills you're going to learn just turned up to 11.
Absolutely. Warren Grobelar on short approach, now short final and low approach. He's getting the power and tails on the ground, and he comes across. Get that thing down. Stop it, buddy. Stop it.
Nice performance.
Very nice performance from a massive airplane with a big honking heavy motor. At least he has no extra weight from paint. I think that's what's helping him,
Probably that. And you noticed a little bit, he gave up a few feet because he had to give a little goose of throttle to get it over the line.
But he's doing that because now he has a score. Up until this point, if he finished out the night with no score, do you think that all those people cheering his name would even talk to him?
I don't think anyone's going to talk to him if he keeps scratching.
Well, luckily, Warren does have a score on the board now, which is fantastic to see. We're starting to see really impressive changes from people like Roger O'Neill. Roger and his Kit Fox 7 had a combined score of 521 in our last round. Now he has a combined score of 380. That's from his first time ever doing a STOL competition or demo to his second time. That's a pretty radical improvement, and that's exactly the kind of improvement you want to see.
Want to talk a little bit about another one of our sponsors, Eric. Another McFarland Aviation and MT Propeller. You can visit our gold sponsor, McFarland Aviation Products, here at the show at Sun and Fun 22, Hangar A. They're in booths 63 and 64. You can speak with their MT Propeller specialists. You can visit them at Hangar B, booth 88. That's McFarland Aviation Products. They're celebrating 50 years serving the aviation community.
And you'll see a lot of the pilots out here running that McFarland prop, including Warren Grobelar, who loves it, and he loves the way it makes the crowd go nuts when it's just so dadgum loud. We love it too. Roger O'Neill taxiing by the tower now. That beautiful Series 7 that he painted with the help of his sister.
Look at the scores that are coming in right now. Warren Grobelar in the giant Cessna 180. Warren G in the 180.
First place, ladies and gentlemen. First place.
2 feet shorter than Jaden
in her Super Cub, her Super Patriot. It's very interesting to see this because Warren is not usually competing in the Bush class.
No, normally they are not pinned up against each other at all.
No,
so
this is
kind of
an exceptional performance from Warren. And we know that Jaden, this is our first time flying the airplane, so she's going to get more and more out of it the more time she goes around this pattern. Gary Schmidt with a very nice performance on that third takeoff, 98 feet. And Matthew Peterson, the Colonel, on the roll. Watch for the flaps to come in, the rotation to happen all at once. He sometimes likes to drag his tail. Exceptional.
I'm just waiting to see what the latest wind observation is. They do feel lighter to me, but also we have a huge crowd here at Sun and Fun.
They're blocking us.
They're just blocking the wind for us. I don't know.
Jaden getting the nose down a little lower, going a little more aggressively, bringing the flaps in and coming off with a lot of energy. I think she could have been off at least 10 to 15 feet earlier, but she, again, is still learning this airplane. Coming from a different Cub, every airplane has a personality. I don't care what you say. You could take a Cessna 172, and it's a certified airplane. You could take one off the line from one day. You take one off the line from another day. They're not the same airplane.
The wing rigging, the control rigging, all of that combining together.
And something important to note, Nick with a very nice takeoff here. Something important to note on that Super Patriot is it is an IFR airplane with autopilot.
What?
It's covered in AirTech coatings, so that beautiful finish.
Another sponsor of our friend AirTech Coatings helping us out.
Fantastic people there at AirTech, fantastic people there at Patriot as well. We know that Jaden's going to be looking forward to signing autographs at the Patriot booth after this round.
Yeah, so if you're in the crowd or you want to meet Jaden, the Wunderkind, you could go check her out at the booth. Here's Warren on the line. The crowd's getting rowdy.
Diving the airplane toward the ground. You'll notice he rotates quickly, gets the flaps in, and gets off the ground in just under 95 feet. Warren working the winds, waiting for things until they're just right, and that is extremely aggressive, just as we've learned to expect from our South African friend.
Would you like some random random Warren Grobelar facts.
Oh, man. Did he ever have malaria? I feel like he might have had malaria.
He survived malaria at 13.
At
Thanks
13?
For stealing my thunder. But did you know that he narrowly escaped being mauled by an ostrich at age 7?
How do you get mauled by an ostrich? I mean, I've been attacked by a goose, but an ostrich is a new one. All right, we've got Gary bringing it in, getting it nice and tight. Look at this.
Oh, good one for Gary.
Impressive performance.
A little bit of brake fade on that right main, but in that case, what we do is we measure from the furthest main from the line.
Indeed, which look like about 73 feet. Again, we're seeing some of the best performance out of Gary that we've seen all week. I know he'll be very pleased with this result. Matt Peterson now making his way. He's taking this one a little bit differently. He's allowing it to slow down. You'll see he's fighting a little bit of that crosswind. No big deal. He's going to keep it under power as long as he can. Keep it off the mains.
With a scratch there. Maybe the gentlest
it was
landing
beautiful.
of the night. Beautiful landing.
I would pay money for my landings to look like that when I have a passenger, because they never do. I'm fine on my own, but I can't take a passenger and make it smooth.
By the way, reading these wonderful information sheets here, Matt claims to be the most improved ukulele player on the circuit as well.
You know, it's funny.
I don't know what that's.
Matt has done a lot of things in his life. And,
ukulele, yeah.
I tell you what, he throws one heck of a Bayou Bash. If anyone ever gets the opportunity to make their way to Louisiana for Swamp Stoll, I can guarantee you it will be a fantastic time. This looks like Jaden Newman now in that Super Patriot, covered by AirTech Coatings.
And check out the new scores.
Ooh, we have a new leader, ladies and gentlemen.
Gary Schmidt with 169 combined, 169 feet combined for Gary Schmidt in that Just Aircraft Super STOL. Really working that plane kind of the way it was designed to be used.
He really is. It's interesting to see the difference in today's performance versus the last few days. I feel like he's really turned it up to 11. He's got the win, but Jaden's got the gust that she needs to take this out. She's going to get it stopped a lot earlier. Look at this. Sub 150, sub 125. Jaden Newman in the Super Patriot.
Probably one of the closest landings to the line that wasn't a scratch yet, just there by Jaden Newman. Did not give up almost any braking distance based on where she touched down. That was excellent.
Exactly what you want to do. You want to have all the energy out of the airplane, put yourself in a position where you can actually use the brakes and keep the nose out of the ground.
Watching the replay here, just skimming the blades of grass there.
Nick Pauscher.
Hot on her tail, giving up a little bit more, touching down about 50 feet from the line.
But this is one of the more exceptional landings we've seen from him. We've saw a few 500s the last few nights, so this is good to see that he's really trying to compete. He's at the point where he's like, you know what? I don't want to be the only one throwing up big numbers, so he's going to get the smallest number he can and hold on to it. Next up, it looks like
there's our friend O'Neill.
Yeah, that's Roger O'Neill.
And we just saw a crosswind gust there kind of blow towards us, so he's going to be battling that a little bit.
But he's got some wind. He's coming in a little faster. He's still slipping it. Again, Roger's first experience here at National STOL. And keep in mind, this airplane is an airplane he built himself at a very young age. And I love seeing the finish on it. It's just an absolutely beautiful airplane with that SDI wing.
And we can sit here and wax poetic about how he came in really hot. He gave up a lot of distance there with all the speed he carried into the landing. But let's be real. He was still down and stopped sub 350, sub 400 feet. Well, I think we'll see the distance in a minute. That's crazy.
It is, and his first landing was 314 feet. His second was 197, and we see him give a little bit back this time, but his combined score, his best combined score, is 380, which is really good for your first time out here.
For your first time out, and for anything. I think that's one of the things people don't realize is even the 172s, even what Colonel Matt's doing in the 172, really capable airplanes. Here's Warren.
Over the line, heavy under braking. Keep her down, my friend. Absolutely beautiful. These are light experimental numbers, guys. This is the kind of competition we love to see from Warren.
Seeing him pumping his fist in there, he knew that was a good one. Going to be really, watch this on the replay if you're watching us at home.
There's a reason why there's so many
right
friends
on the
here.
line.
Why he has so many friends watching, why he has so many fans out here cheering for Warren, because you know what? It's hard not to cheer for someone who can land a massive 180 in that few feet.
And I don't know, I said before that Jaden had gotten the closest to the line. That looked almost like a scratch to me. It was right on the edge, the line judge saying it's good.
That was a 71-foot. Nope, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. That was an 89-foot landing accompanied by an 86-foot takeoff. Absolutely tremendous work from Warren. And we are on, my friends, to the next round. That's going to bring us to Luke Spohr, Christian Griwan, John Humbert, Steve Henry, Dennis Long. Some great pilots, some interesting people. It looks like Larry Mednick's joining us as well in that Revo trike, the Evolution Revolt. Very excited to see how all these guys perform. But first up is Luke Spohr in the Legend MOAC.
The mother of all the Cubs. I joked before.
Whoa, 74 feet, 72 feet even.
Not messing around. I think the gun racks help.
Oh, I'm
on
sure.
that one. The gun racks give it a little extra lift.
It's actually a very custom vortex generator. I think that
I'll buy that.
They may be full of helium with a takeoff like that. Love to see it. Christian Griwan up next with the 915 powered Super STOL. Christian's running those TK1 shocks, and he's waiting until it just kind of floats off. He didn't pull it off. He just let it happen.
Let that one happen. John Humbert coming up to the line. You know what we did last night? We had a little dinner party at the National STOL Airbnb, and you know what a bunch of STOL pilots do at a dinner party? They watch videos of John Humbert on YouTube.
John tooting his horn, dragging his tail, and off the ground with an incredible angle of attack. We've talked about this before. His angle of attack is slightly affected by the angle of incidence set on that wing, so it looks crazier than it is, but it sure is fun to watch.
And the return of the champion, number 44, Steve Henry on the line, dropping the flaps.
The last time we saw Steve, he was on his nose. 2 days later, he's back to the skies, taking off in less than 15 to 20 feet. Unbelievable. I saw 3 rotations of that tire. Fantastic performance from the newly minted Sensnick nose-tipped, that new propeller from Sensnick. I know they're so happy to have Sensnick here offering them a prop. They said that their team stayed up all night developing that propeller just for that special Apex 300 horsepower motor.
Here's the bright pink Aeropract.
Dennis Long. Exceptional takeoff for an airplane that is not prepared for STOL. This is nothing special. This is an off-the-shelf. And speaking of off-the-shelf, the Revolt from Evolution Trikes, Larry Mednick's 5th design. He's designed 5 different aircraft, and this is one of them. He's asking which wheel does needs to be on the line.
Yeah, you got to get the mains on. I think this might be the first trike in National STOL history.
He's building speed. Watch that bar come out.
Pushing for it. There he goes.
Pretty impressive. 225 feet or so. It looked like to me. I could be wrong. Looks like they're standing closer to the 190.
Let's talk about it as the MOAC comes around. Another sponsor for us, Legend Aircraft. You should check them out at Sun and Fun booth. Mike Delta 1, that's Legend Aircraft here at Sun and Fun 22 in MD1. American Legend Aircraft is building the most innovative and advanced Cubs today. There's only one true original. You can realize your dreams at American Legend Aircraft. And the mother of all Cubs.
We got to talk about this airplane too, and just Legend in general. Legend's finish quality. Their paint work over the last probably 12 months, I've never seen anything like it. It's like looking at a bass boat. Just this deep, luscious colors. Make sure you check out their booth over there, MD1. Beautiful aircraft from Legend Cub. And we do have Luke Spohr now on approach in the Legend MOAC.
And we were seeing the replay of Steve Henry's takeoff there. Judges grabbed that at 20 feet. I almost felt like that was shorter than that.
I completely agree. He's really slow. Is he across the line?
That's
it's a scratch. If that wasn't a scratch, it would have been one of our more impressive landings of the night. I know Luke will be frustrated with it, but it's okay. It's his first round. He'll try to get some numbers on the board here on his next go-round. Looks like Steve Henry's going around himself right now.
Yeah, it looks like we got the competitors kind of grouped up there a little bit too much, so they've got to kind of work on spacing. You got people going around. What's funny to me is even with these broadcast headsets on, I could tell that Steve was going around in the pattern because I could hear it.
There's not even a question. You hear that turbo start to spool. John Humbert, now look at the angle of attack here. He is really in position to give one of the best performances to date. Looking like he's going to have it stopped around the 75-foot mark. John had a 50-foot landing in December here. Combined score, I believe, of 65 or something ridiculous last year.
It was incredible. And I think what we talk about a lot is people say, I don't know if I should compete at Steve Henry. Steve Henry this, Steve Henry that. No, he's incredible. But you got people like John making him work for it.
Making him work for it with an airplane that makes, what, a third of the power, just over a third of the power?
Yeah, totally different type of aircraft.
And a totally different style of flying. Now we have Dennis Long in the Vixen, the Aeropract Vixen, first approach. Looks like, I think he kept it off. No, he didn't. It is a scratch. Disappointing.
Now that's okay. He's new to this tonight, getting it dialed in, getting it figured out. Great to see.
And it's really exciting to see these aircraft dealers who might otherwise be sitting in their booth listening to all the fun, coming out here and having a go at it. Speaking of which, Larry Mednick in the Revo. It's a scratch, but let's see how fast he can get it stopped because he's only running.
Oh, he's just giving it the beans.
He's only got the one brake on the nose. So it's a little bit different. At least I believe that's how most trikes are. His may be different. I used to fly those trikes back in high school, and Larry designed those and built and sells them out of Zephyr Hills, Florida. Has a great school there, really great people, and I love to see these different types of aircraft coming out here and working on their consistency, working on dialing things in, because the time that you have problems in aviation is when complacency enters the picture. Don't be complacent. Do new stuff. It's good.
It's good for Christian Griwan there. Love watching him compete over the past couple, the last year or so.
It's a beautiful 2021 Just Aircraft Super STOL coming out of Fairplay, South Carolina. That was a nice landing.
And one of the things that people wonder about when we are in competition, they wonder about passenger comfort, and I'm just here to tell you that it doesn't matter. It's about getting stopped, getting it down. Look at that new prop hub flopping around there.
Steve Henry bringing it in, going for it.
Heavy on the brakes, Steve.
Heavy on the brakes, 54 feet or less.
He is not gun shy at all, given what happened on Tuesday. He's ready to bring it again. Love that. Basically, people talk about why does he bring the trailer around? Why does he fly in? And the reason why he doesn't fly in is because he pushes that thing so hard, and when you push things hard, they can break, and you want to get back in the game.
Steve is a competitor through and through, from races with his siblings as a child to flying here every day. Steve wants to not only compete, but to win. And Steve, for those of you who don't know, on Wednesday night, Steve had a landing gear failure on a custom-built part that he has built a one-of-one. After about 5,000 landings, it failed. And though he did check it, it was something that was missed, and it failed and left him on his nose, breaking his propeller and damaging one of his leading edge slats. But he's back, and we're excited to have him. With that said, we're going to... All right, we've got someone departing to the south. We're just getting some information from the tower, making sure we keep everything going on. Gary's headed out with a passenger. Let's see how long his takeoff roll is.
And while we watch that there, folks, let's talk about another sponsor. We could not do this without Sarasota Avionics and Maintenance. Get a little fist bump to Steve Henry there. Sarasota Avionics and Maintenance. They're in Sun and Fun Hangar C, Hangar Charlie. They're an avionics and maintenance shop. They were founded on the principles of providing superior service and customer support, of course, at a competitive price. Make sure to stop by and see them. They're all over Florida.
They are all over Florida, but we need to talk about the scores, guys. Steve Henry, total score of 74. John Humbert, 112. Schmidt at 169. That's Gary Schmidt, 169. I got it. They have it in here as Gilar. Warren Grobelar, 175. Just 6 feet behind that Super STOL. Incredible performance from Warren. And then Jaden Newman at 213 and Christian Griwan 251. We're seeing the numbers drop, and that's what we like to see.
And I think the story of the night right now for me, obviously, is the return of Steve Henry this week. It's also, look at John Humbert, and it's also, look at Gary Schmidt, and it's also, on top of that, Warren Grobelar in a massive airplane.
Massive airplane, throwing out numbers that we'd expect to see in light experimental. That's what makes this so mental. Look at the angle, start to change, dragging his tail off the ground at a very respectable pace. These are numbers, if he can get his landings dialed back. I'll tell you, in December, John Humbert's landings were exceptional. I don't know how he stopped it as quickly as he did. The turbo spool and tails coming off the ground. Peeling off. It wasn't as good as last time, but I'll take 30 feet if I were Steve Henry.
He's missing some slats.
He is
compared to normal.
He's missing 8 feet of slats. All right,
so
that's
maybe
not
some
a small
slats
amount.
Is an understatement. Dennis Long in the Aeropract.
Feeling her off the ground much
Got it
shorter
off.
that time.
He's starting to dial it in. I was going to say, just to put it in perspective, Steve Henry with a 6-foot takeoff. 6-foot takeoff at Outlaw Stole a
Absolutely
couple
tremendous.
month ago or so.
Larry Mednick, possibly the only person who could fly this trike better than Larry is his wife, Amy. They got married right here. Wonderful people. Heavily involved in the light sport community. The kind of people you'd like to keep as your friends.
Oh, someone says, go Ryan. What's up, Bruno?
We finally get a sign made for the announcers.
For
that
the
never
announcers,
happens.
yeah, the sun's blinding me. Go follow him on Instagram. Fly with Bruno. That's my friend Bruno.
What up,
What's
Bruno?
up, dude?
Glad to have you here, guys. As the rest of these folks are coming around, let's take just a moment to talk about rugged radios. If you're looking for a true rugged radio, and the National STOL partner in communications, they specialize in aviation communications for students, flight instructors, charter services, and general aviation pilots. We're actually looking to get in some rugged radios in my business because they work.
It's in the name. They're rugged.
That's right. All right, guys. Luke Spohr on approach now in the MOAC, the Legend Aircraft MOAC. Keep her off this time, Luke. Get the power back to it. Listen to that power coming back and in.
Nice.
Very nice. He's got some pretty wheels on there, doesn't he?
He does have some pretty wheels on there. Luke Spohr just won his first place in his class at Swamp Stool this year.
He did indeed. And you know what's interesting is he's been flying Legend Cubs since he was 8 years old.
I suppose that would be true.
I mean, that's a pretty cool thing.
That's pretty incredible. Want to talk about that empty weight. Think about the empty weight of the aircraft. 1,059.
Christian Griwan bouncing it in a little bit, but that's okay. He's getting it back under braking. Carried a little more energy, and the winds have dropped a bit. And there are more people to our right, so we could be getting blocked, but the winds do seem to be coming down pretty significantly. We'll get another weather screen up on there for those on the live stream, just to keep you guys appraised, get a feel for what that weather's doing.
I'm looking for my phone to grab the METARs, and I picked up Eric's phone, and then we got all confused.
John Humber, low approach now, keeping it under power. It is good, heavy under braking. Very nice. John's going to be happy with that result. Nose wheels back off the ground, taxi it along.
So I have the most current observation for Lakeland Airport here. Still wind 290 at 12 to 20 knots. It doesn't feel that way, but maybe it's the crowd blocking us.
Hey, I'm going to say thank you because I'd be cold. I'm a Floridian, and it's cool tonight, all right?
Here comes Steve Henry, low and to your left.
Keep in mind that the man has a turbo, so he has power lag. He has to be on top of it here, and right there, he's just a moment too late with the power. Creates the scratch, right? That turbo lag, not getting power immediately to the motor is a challenge. It's one that we've talked about, especially when he's running the higher boost settings, those 25 PSI. It takes a long time, even though it's a small turbo, to get it up to power.
We have some spacing here. We'll see what happens with the Aeropract.
Dennis Long touching down a bit early. It is a scratch, but he's heavier under braking this time, stopping significantly sooner. I think if he were to have stopped, it would have been the 160 range.
Scott Cronk on social says, give Anitra is kind of the person who makes a lot of this National STOL world go around. Just give Anitra a high five from Colorado.
High five, Anitra.
High five, Anitra from Colorado.
On approach, Larry Mednick in that Revo, the beautiful Evolution Revolt trike. I don't know which engine he has on here, but it's probably 100 horsepower knowing him, maybe about 915. Big, strong, and heavy, designed to be able to take you taken back country. He's flying a small glider on that trike right now. I know he'd be, wow, look at the stopping power. That was impressive.
Getting it figured out. Yeah, he's getting it dialed in. What I think is interesting watching, correct me if I'm wrong, but the controls are reversed compared to what we think of standard as a...
Correct. So a weight shift trike, you have to think about it like you're moving your body under the glider. So you're moving opposite of what you think you need to. As he pushes forward, it's like pulling back on the stick. If he pushes to the left, it's actually like pulling right on the stick. So it is a bit different. And as a fixed-wing pilot, transitioning into a flex-wing trike like that was very challenging because it was so reversed. But anything that's hard makes it more fun, right? It makes it more of a good time.
I've always wanted to give one of those a try. We got to talk about another sponsor.
This is a new sponsor for us.
New sponsor for us, Duke Propellers. They are also, surprise, here at Sun and Fun 22. They're in booth November 077, N077. Go by their booth. Check out their new Cobra prop. they're unveiling it here at the show.
See, I'm excited about this. I have a Duke propeller, and I love the way it looks. I have it mounted on my Kit Fox. It's gorgeous, but I'm excited to go see what else they have. They didn't pay me to say any of that. Really unique design philosophies behind Duke propellers, and we're super excited to have them on board here at Husky National STOL.
John Humbird took first place in light experimental overall at the Central Florida Classic running a Duke propeller.
Very impressive takeoff there for our friend Luke Spohr in the Legend MOAC. 55 feet. I know he's going to be thrilled with that result.
So here's Christian Griwan. Now, a fun way to compare would be to compare Christian Griwan with Gary Schmidt. Similar aircraft.
Although Gary does have significantly less horsepower.
That's true. It's a good point to make.
Gary's best takeoff, 98 feet. Christian currently at 114 and 116, this being his last takeoff at 116. Very impressive. It just shows how much of the conditions come into play here. John Humbird working for it hard. Oh! Fantastic work from John Humbird. When the line judges have to walk back toward the line, you know it's a good sign.
And you know, watching Steve Henry, who's on the line now, a lot of times he'll wave them back.
That's true. There's the turbo spool. Right tire, 1, 2, 3 rotations. 26 feet.
Those were two really close takeoffs. You know, I got to wonder what it's like for Steve Henry to see someone like John Humbird in front of him.
You know, we're seeing a lot of consistency here from John Humbird. John's first takeoff, 36 feet. First landing, 76 feet. Third takeoff, 37 feet. And 1 foot separating those two, and these landings are only 3 feet apart as well.
That's very consistent, especially when you've got wind that is still proving to be gusty.
Yeah, it is indeed. 12 to 20. That's a big jump. Larry Meddick now taking back to the line. You'll notice he keeps that glider bar tucked close to his chest. Now thrusts it out to get as much air across as he can, reducing drag early, and then throwing the bar out to get the increased angle of incidence and try to get lift as quickly as possible.
I kind of like how physical that feels.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I feel like if I did that, I would enjoy, like, the
bench
pushing.
press? You're doing a bench press, yeah.
Because I cannot bench a lot, so it would be good. It would be good for me to get a little exercise in.
It's a really unique type of flying, and obviously because you have a flex wing aircraft like that, you have so much more control over the surface of it. Like the paraglider, we have a soft wing that we can control in wing warp, kind of like the Wright brothers did on the Wright Flyer. So it's a very different idea. But Luke Spohr is now on low approach, and we want to say thank you and hello to Aldo from Argentina. Great to have you here. Luke flying that gorgeous MOAC. The wig-wag switches are on, and he's got his gun racks ready to go. You think he has anything in there?
Well, I would hope not for weight and balance. You want to be as light as possible, right?
He's coming in early, on and off the power here. Watch him drop. It's good.
Nice.
He'll be short this time. Very short landing.
Lock those wheels up. Also, want to give Luke some style points on that approach, slipping it like he meant it out on a short final there.
He did indeed. If you noticed, when he was still a little bit higher, I'd say he's probably like 400 feet as he turned final, he just wanted to play. I think he was enjoying the heck out of getting that airplane down and out of the sky.
Here's our friend Christian now. Again, low and to your left, folks in the crowd.
915 powered Rotax on this Super STOL. It's a brand new one, 2021. He's keeping that deck angle as high as he can, keep it under power, chops the power now a little bit late, gave up about 25 to 30 feet there, but you can see he's heavy under the braking and he kept the tail down. He's increasing his drag. Very excellent flying from Christian. All right, we just got word from the booth. There's some very special information happening. We'll go to that as soon as John lands. I'm excited to share it with you. John, under power here. Keep her off. Keep her off. He's off.
Whoa!
Keep it down. Brake.
Nice.
Oh, my goodness. 47 feet, give or take. This may take the crown from Steve. Steve's best landing, 54 feet right now. This is going to be close, ladies and gentlemen. 49 feet. Steve's combined is 74. He's just past that. But that's okay. It shows how close the competition is, and that's exactly what we want. But Steve is low and slow. Chop it power.
Nice.
Locking him up.
About the same.
About 47 feet
Maybe,
as well.
maybe a foot shorter, I would bet. I would bet a foot shorter.
It was absolutely fantastic flying from Steve on a propeller. He's not used to flying. This is new for him, but it's not slowing him down, even with 8 less feet on each side.
Yes.
A leading edge slat.
And that prop hub just machined and designed overnight.
Absolutely, indeed. Dennis Long, the Aeropract Vixen, that beautiful pink. It may not be for everybody, but I think I like it, and I think my daughter would like it if I ended up with it.
Definitely high visibility there. We got some Air Force guys walking in front of the. Thank you guys. Good to see you.
A10 team, the A10
nice,
demo team.
A10. Well, they could do this course probably.
All right, we have a special treat. We're not exactly sure what it's going to be as yet, but as the A10 team walks by, I want to say give a shout out to my friend Habu, who used to be the A10 demo pilot. Some great folks. And as we continue on with Larry Mednick now here on short final, a little faster than his competitors, but heavy on the braking. Those back tires are definitely locked up, so he definitely does have brakes back there. Nice flying from Larry. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the latest news. Steve Henry, John Humbert, Warren Grobelar, and Luke Spohr will be completing another round of demos. So all of you Warren fans over there, I see you. If you guys are here for Warren, you're going to get to see him fly again. Does that sound good? No response. No one's here to watch Warren. The people they paid $10 for, it's already too late. All right, we're coming back through here, guys. Top 4 are going to be running it back once again. Mine is Gary. So we've got Steve Henry, John Humbert, Luke Spohr, and Warren Grobelar, our top 4. All right, we're getting more information from our air boss. We may not be able to get Warren back out here, but we're going to try. We're going to do our best to make sure that our top 4 are all able to be out here together. I know we've got some excited fans. We're all excited to see what these guys can do. And as these winds are staying pretty consistent now, it looks like the gusts are starting to push back through. We may see even better scores as we're running lower and lower on fuel, which is exactly what we want. But before we talk about John Humbert's takeoff, talk to us about AirTech Coatings.
I got a couple of sponsors we got to talk about. We got to thank them for all their support here at Husky National STOL. AirTech Coatings. You can see their product on Jade, the plane, the Patriot that Jaden is flying right now. AirTech Coatings, they're right next to the Compass Rose at Sun and Fun booth NE Northeast 003. They've got a Sun and Fun special, 10% off. They use that polyurethane technology, give you that really nice wet look. The other people we got to talk about insurance. If you're talking about aviation, Ladd Gardner Aviation Insurance. If you're looking for them, check them out. They've got a team of professional aviators that can help you have aviation protected.
They're actually insuring this event right now. We really appreciate everything Ladd does, as well as Fat Tire Cowboys. They're an adventure brand that has all kinds of cleaning supplies, and John Humbert's on the roll. Holy
not
cow.
messing around there. That's right, Fat Tire Cowboys, another huge supporter of National STOL. They're an aviation adventure brand steeped in cowboy lore. Say that 7 times fast. They have a prize contribution at every event, including something I just learned about called Bull Spit.
Bull Spit, you have to enunciate very carefully here because Steve Henry is getting ready to charge this thing forward. Listen to the turbo spool, dive into the ground, claps her in, and he's away!
Steve Henry,
into the crowd.
I hope everyone's been plugging their ears for that, or you're going to have some hearing damage tomorrow. We also want to say thanks to Sporty's Pilot Shop. Sporty's been around their 61st year right now, Sporty's. Can you believe that? I bought my first E6B from Sporty's.
I bought my first E6B from Sporty's.
It's probably the same one.
Probably is. All right, we got some numbers back. John Humbert at 29 feet, but Luke Spohr on the roll now. Very impressive take up there in the Legend MOAC for Luke Spohr. Looks like Christian's joining us for the 3rd round. That was 29 feet for John Humbert in the Super STOL, or sorry, the 701, Super 701, and 23 feet for Steve Henry.
That's 23 feet.
Sadly, Warren is unable to join us tonight, but he will return tomorrow night. Warren's airplane, oh, what do you know? Wait,
do you know?
We just heard no Warren, and look who just manifests on the turf, but the man himself, Warren Grobelar.
the myth, the legend, the eater of all things South African. We love having him here. Man, this guy shows up. We meet up in Alabama to fly to Louisiana. He's like, I got some bull tongue. I'm like, what are you, South African? He goes, yeah.
Yeah. Bull tongue. To go well with that Fat Tire Cowboys bull spit.
It's true.
I was thinking about Sporties. They do all that training courses. They've been doing that for 20 years, something like that.
Long time, yes, indeed. Warren driving it in. Oh, exceptional as always. He's trying to beat his best, and we know that Warren has done very well today. 86 and 89 feet being his best so far. 86-foot takeoff. This one's a bit longer than that, it looks like, but still, for an airplane that weighs what that airplane weighs, which I should know that number offhand, but I'll just say it's heavy.
If only we had a device.
You know what's cool is Warren is still running the stock springs in that. He doesn't have the titanium springs in it. He still has the float kit on the airplane. There's a lot of areas that he could remove more weight, but he wants to keep it usable, and that titanium spring is pretty expensive.
He said the aircraft empty weight currently 1,600 pounds. The gross weight of that 180, 2,550 pounds. So it's a beast.
Let me put it this way. Warren showed up to New Orleans or to Louisiana, Jennings, Louisiana with me, and he pulled his motorcycle out of the back of the airplane.
There you go. Frank Mann Jr., a competitor in the National STOL Series, says we should compare Gary and Chris not by performance but by their height.
Ooh, power.
Whoa,
John
big
really
bounce for John Humbert.
John got a big gust there. You'll notice he immediately got that height in. He pulled the power, tried to keep things down. And even though if you look at the video right now, you can tell that airplane is basically parallel with the wind, right? He's got so much angle of attack into it, he just couldn't save it in time.
Even with a little bit of a wing drop, ends up being a non-event for him. Here's Steve Henry, low, and a scratch.
It's a scratch.
Steve.
Look at
and
it. You can see his face.
He hit the helmet. He's like, come on, Steve.
Come on, Steve. What are you doing?
And that's what, let's be real, though, right? He had the little bit of a mechanical failure earlier this week. The plane is going to feel different now with all the changes that were made to get it airworthy for tonight.
The biggest change is that propeller. It's definitely not the same airplane it was before. It's getting, as Josh, his mechanic, pointed out, he said, for anybody else, the prop's perfect. For Steve, it's different, so it's not right. It's going to take some time to get used to that. And Luke Spohr now in the MOAC, goosing the power. Get back into it, we got a scratch.
Again, I think one of the big things to remember if you're watching the National STOL Series is any of these landings, scratch or otherwise, are impressive.
Oh, for sure. Far more impressive than your average everyday flying session at the airport, right?
Certainly far more impressive than any flying session I've done at the airport.
All right, our fan favorite here, Warren, on approach. Those massive flaps are out. And that beautiful polish.
Excited to see what he does here. We can't see him beyond. Oh, there he is, just peeking
behind
around the tower there.
It's tough. We kind of in a little hole here. You have to kind of guess what's happening, except that we can see the live stream, which I have to say I am kind of addicted to watching these now. Warren's fans are cheering him on. Get that power now. Chop it out now. Get her on the ground. Lock up the brakes. Sub 150. Looks like about 132 feet, 135 feet for Warren Grobelar in the number 46. Valentino Rossi's racing number. Warren, a huge fan of Rossi and a MotoGP in general. I believe that Rossi is a 12-time national or international world champion in MotoGP, and he just retired this year.
I don't know anything about cars because I'm a plane guy.
It's a motorcycle guy. Come on now.
It's a motorcycle thing. Yeah, see, I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, look at me know things about things, Eric. I know a lot of things about things.
Hey,
That's me.
I'm addicted to all things that go vroom.
No, that's fair. Things that go vroom. I love things that go vroom, mostly the ones with wings. Though we have a lot of cell phones around us right now.
I'm feeling famous.
Feeling a little famous.
Point him toward Warren. He's the famous one, guys.
Very good.
All right, we've got Christian now on low approach. He's taking a little bit different stance this time. You'll notice keeping that nose a little high and flying in lower. It will be a scratch, but it would have been a fantastic landing had he not.
I'm still wondering about the winds. I'm still wondering if they're starting to calm down a little bit.
It's a question mark.
Let's see what people are going to do here as we go through.
I would also like to encourage you. We were joking about the cell phones in the booth just a second ago. Everybody, you got to tag us on social media. Be sure to tag and follow Husky National STOL on all of our social media platforms. Use the hashtag shorter is better. We're on Instagram at National STOL. Check us out on Facebook, National STOL Series, all that jazz.
Okay, no problem. We'll be down in the corner with Jaden doing autographs when you're ready, okay?
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this has been such a blast. I want to thank each and every one of you all for coming out here tonight, for watching these incredible pilots, doing what they love most, and for you guys just being a part of the aviation family as we all come together. Ryan, it's been a blast. I'm excited for tomorrow night.
It feels like coming home. I'm so excited to finally be here with all of you. And I want to go. Let's go through the scores for tonight, though.
We have to.
So, Steve Henry, 73
feet. 73 feet. Let me pull up the rest of them because
they took it right off the pro. Oh no, we got a bigger one. Okay,
go.
John Humbert in the zenith, 86 feet combined.
When you see a 13-foot difference between your leader and your second, and you only see a 170 horsepower difference, you know that John has to feel extremely good about himself right now. He was performing at a top level. Luke Spohr at 133, Gary Schmidt 169,
Warren Krobelar with a combined best takeoff 86 feet in a Cessna 180, best landing 89 feet in a Cessna 180, combined score of 175. And Jaden Newman just kind of popped. I literally was riding a go-kart and she just appeared as if out of nowhere. I was like, "Oh, you flying tonight?" She's like, "Yeah, man, let's go."
In an airplane that she hadn't flown before.
Never
How
flown
cool
before.
is that?
213 feet for Jaden Newman. Guys, gals in the crowd, we cannot thank you enough. Sun and Fun. It has been amazing. If you're here tomorrow night, more STOL madness.
More STOL madness, more fun, more competitors, and more entertainment for us all. To everyone, thank you so much for being here. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and thank you so much to the Husky National STOL for having Ryan and I here.
Yeah,
have a great night.
It's been a great dude. Eric, we will see you soon.
See y'all later. Have a good night.
Yeah, I got that right turn. We're good.
Let's meet up at the compound group up.
That's 10-4. Yeah, for sure, dog. Good, little driver, straight on through.
Good morning, everybody. We're here the first day of Sun and Fun 2022. Started at 9 o'clock this morning. We got the booth all set up for you. We need you to come by the booth to get y'all's free prize. Here, spin the wheel, guys. You spin the wheel, you might win something. We got some really cool gifts on here. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube videos. Come by and see the booth. We're going to have the blimp flying later today. If this wind will calm down, we're going to have the blimp up 30 feet in the air, guys. Be a cool sight to see. We got some great deals inside. If you need a quote on your installation of your aircraft, any kind of new stuff, new products, we got a lot of stock in-house. more than anybody else that I've seen here, so come by and see what we got here, guys. Good morning, 2022. Come by and see us. We'll be here all week.
When it's time to recover and paint your fabric-covered aircraft, look no further than AirTech Coatings. Since 1982, our FAA-approved system provides you with a shiny, durable, easy-to-apply product. The AirTech system has fewer steps than any other product on the market today, saving you both time and money. While using cutting-edge technology, we offer a wide range of products. Whether it's for work, play, antique, or aerobatic, we have you covered. Remember, we make paint fly.